This is the Offside, and welcome to the channel where we cover the latest news in the football world. With the European Championship in full swing, now it's time for the Copa America to get started. With a total of 16 national teams ready to get the Copa underway, and each of their respective squads is set, let's take a look at each group individually and break them down. So Group A consists of Argentina, Peru, Chile, and Canada. At first glance, most people's gut reaction is probably to say that Argentina is easily the strongest team in this group, and I would fully agree with that sentiment. In my opinion, for the past 3 years, Argentina have been the best national team in the world, and currently Argentina still sits at the top of the FIFA World Rankings. Excellent recent performances coupled with a star-studded squad, in my eyes, leave very little room for debate as to who's the best team in this group. Peru currently sits at 32 in the FIFA World Rankings, but recently Peru have been on a pretty good run of form, coming out victorious in 3 out of their last 4 matches. I'm just not sure, based on the other teams within this group, how much noise they can actually make. So Chile is ranked 42nd in the FIFA World Rankings, behind Peru, although I do believe that based on the quality of players that they have, even if they're older, can end up giving Chile a slight edge over Peru. With an older Alexis Sanchez still leading this team, I believe that Chile is still a solid enough team. The final team in Group A is Canada. They're currently ranked 49th in the FIFA World Rankings, and their current run of form is not too good either. They have only 1 win of their last 4 matches, with 2 losses and 1 draw. With the newly appointed head coach Jesse Marsch leading this team, I'm not sure exactly how they'll look. They obviously have some good talented players on the team, but there's no real direction. So I believe at the end of the day, Group A is going to play out like this. Argentina's in first, Chile's in second, Canada's going to finish third, and Peru is in fourth. Moving on to Group B, it's consistent of Mexico, Ecuador, Venezuela, and Jamaica. Starting things off with Mexico. With me being a Mexican American, this is mi selección, so I feel like I'm speaking for a majority of the Mexican fans when I say this. The recent run of form for La Selección has been an absolute shit show. With the old guard of La Selección basically over, Jimmy Lozano has had to find some new players to bring in, and to be honest, all it's led to is a lot of inconsistency. And it's not necessarily to blame Jimmy Lozano or even the players themselves, it's more to do with the federation. La Federación Mexicana de Fútbol is a fucking joke, but let me stop there before I launch into a whole other rant. As a fan, I hope Mexico wins it all, but realistically, it's going to be a long, tough road to do so. Now, moving on to Ecuador, they are currently ranked 31st in the FIFA World Rankings. Coming into La Copa, Ecuador have been a bit up and down, although they have had good performances. Ecuador also have some very talented players, but it's not necessarily a deep squad. With the biggest name being Moises Caicedo, I believe he's a talented player and he can take charge of the midfield for Ecuador. The more I look at this team, the more I have the feeling that they could punch above their weight. Venezuela is currently ranked 54th in the FIFA World Rankings. Venezuela hasn't had a lot of recent high-level performances. It just doesn't feel to me that Venezuela is likely to perform above their class in this one. Jamaica has had some recent turmoil within their ranks. Jamaican star Leon Bailey has rejected a call-up to the national team, and it appears that there's some political infighting within the federation. So it kind of feels to me that there's a lot of distractions within the Jamaica camp, so I'm not exactly too confident in Jamaica. So with all of that, I believe that Group B is going to end like this. Ecuador is in first, Mexico's in second, Venezuela is in third, and Jamaica ends in fourth. Taking a look at Group C, we have the host nation, the United States of America. Then we have Uruguay, Panama, and Bolivia. Right now, I believe it's pretty easy to assess that the United States is the best team out of the CONCACAF. A spot previously held by La Selección Mexicana now belongs to the United States. The United States have come out on top in a lot of the recent performances against Mexico and everybody else within CONCACAF. Also, as the host nation, I believe the United States should have a leg up in this group, and I think that they could perform really well. Uruguay is currently ranked 15th in the FIFA World Rankings. I actually quite like this Uruguay squad. I believe that they're a deep team. They have talented players pretty much throughout the whole team. In their last match, they took on Mexico and they beat us comfortably 4-0. I really like this Uruguay squad. I believe that they're a talented bunch of players and I believe that they can actually put together a solid performance. FIFA have ranked Panama as the 45th best national team, but they have shown grit and a certain determination. They play well together and they're really aggressive, so any team that's playing Panama typically has a rough time. Bolivia ranks at 85th in the FIFA World Rankings. Bolivia is always a weird team to be able to predict because they're very inconsistent, and I don't think that they're necessarily going to have a lot more to offer in this group. So Group C is going to end like this. Uruguay is in first, the USA is second, Panama is third, and Bolivia is in fourth. The final group is Group D, and it's consistent of Brazil, Colombia, Paraguay, y Costa Rica. Brazil is one of the consensus favorites to win La Copa America, and taking a look at this team, I believe that they're very talented. They have a lot of good players in every position. With no Neymar present, it's going to fall onto Vini Jr. to help Brazil wade through the competition and put in some solid performances. I actually quite like this Brazil team and I'm expecting a lot from them. FIFA has Colombia ranked at the 15th spot in the world rankings. I think Colombia is a talented team with some good players led by James Rodriguez. I expect them to compete a lot within this group, although I do see some soft spots within the team. I think Colombia is going to have to lock in and perform. Paraguay have a couple talented players, but it's going to be tough to compete with some of the heavyweights within this group. Miguel Almiron has to perform up to his standard and hopefully he can elevate some of his team alongside him. Costa Rica is currently ranked 52nd in the FIFA World Rankings, and to be honest, I don't see a lot of talent in this team, especially when compared to the other teams in this group, so I don't have a lot of high hopes for Costa Rica. So I believe that Group D is going to play out like this. Brazil's in first, Colombia second, Paraguay third, and Costa Rica ends in fourth. Now, rather than break down the potential brackets and this and that, I don't like making predictions. I just have a couple favorites that I want to touch on. I have 3 teams that I consider my personal favorites to win La Copa America this year, and I rank them in order from first to third. First being Argentina. I believe that they're the strongest team of all of them in this tournament. Messi is still Messi, even if he's playing in the MLS. I think he's just one of the best to ever touch a football, so I don't put anything past him. So if you give that man a talented squad, which they do have right now, I believe that they are the heavy favorites to win it all. Right behind them, I have Brazil. I think that they are a strong team. I think they're a deep team. I think they're a very talented team. Now, although that this is the first time in a long time that there has been no Neymar on the team, I believe it's very important for Vini Jr. to grab a hold of the reins and take charge of this team. I think that the rest of the team is very talented. They have a great group of guys at each level. And finally, my third favorite team to win it all is Uruguay. I think that this Uruguay team is severely underrated. I understand that inconsistencies have happened, but I think that the talent in this team is crazy. Although I don't necessarily believe that they're as deep as an Argentina or even as a Brazil, I think that they're deep enough and they're well balanced. Now, head to head against a Argentina or even a Brazil, I'm not sure how much I actually like their chances, but it wouldn't actually surprise me if they got an upset over either of them. Some key players for Argentina, in my opinion, are going to be Emi Martinez, obviously Lionel Messi, and Julian Alvarez. Emi just has to be Emi. He has to be an annoying prick to the other team and help save his team if any shots get through. Obviously, Lionel Messi has to play his role. He has to lead this team to a potential second Copa America for him. And honestly, I'm expecting to see the Messi of a couple years ago because I think he's going to be rejuvenated within the national team. Now, Julian Alvarez is an interesting case. I'm not exactly sure if he's going to start or not. I hope he does. I think he's a really talented player. But even if he doesn't start, coming off the bench, he's a real destroyer. He causes a lot of havoc for the other defense, and I think he's a very important weapon for Argentina this time around. Some key players for Brazil, I have Marquinhos, Vini Jr., and Bruno Guimaraes. I think that Marquinhos is going to be a pivotal piece for the back end. I think he has to help Brazil basically hold their defensive shape. They have a lot of attacking weapons. The defense has to hold their own though. This time around in this Copa America, Vini Jr. has to be that guy for Brazil. He has to be the leader. He has to help them perform up to the level that Brazil knows that they can. Brazil have a lot of attacking weapons, but I want to focus in on the most important part of the field, the midfield. Bruno Guimaraes has to be the pivotal piece in the center. I think he has to be the one that controls the tempo and the pace of the game. Let the Brazilian attackers attack, but he has to be the one that structures the team. I believe he's the best option from linking the defense into the offense, and I think he has to perform for Brazil to have a shot at winning it all. Uruguay's key players are going to be Ronald Araujo, Federico Valverde, and Darwin Núñez. These are three players at three top clubs in the world, and I think they're going to be pivotal points to help Uruguay achieve the dream of winning La Copa America. Araujo has to be the anchor defensively for Uruguay. He has to stop any attacks. He has to be the one that gives them cover. In my opinion, the best player on this Uruguay team is easily Federico Valverde. As a Madrid fan, I am very well aware of how good this motherfucker actually is. He's probably the best box-to-box midfielder in the world, and I think he has to be the engine for Uruguay. He's going to be the heartbeat of the team. He's the one that's going to control the game. He's the one that's going to have to lead this team. Now, I understand that Luis Suarez is still on this team, but in my opinion, I believe that Darwin Núñez has to carry the load offensively for Uruguay. I think that Darwin Núñez is a very good player. I believe that he can create a lot of opportunities. His finishing to me is actually the only thing you can criticize him on, but for whatever reason he strikes me as one of those players that tends to play better for the national team than for his regular club team. His aim seems to be better when he's wearing an Uruguay shirt for some reason. But that's all I have for now. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and if you guys agree with me, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. Let me know who you think is going to win it all. Let me know your favorites. Let me know if you have any dark horses.